following show is a paid program.
Hey family, how you doing today? We have the best of the best in the building with us. We have Mr. Chase Ray Harvey, author and founder of PEP Texas, People Enhancement Program. Hey my friend, how you doing?
I am doing fantastic, unbelievable, extraordinary, phenomenal on a whole nother level. Woo!
I love it, I love it, I love it. In looking at everything you've done, I just said, I've got to meet this author. I've got to meet this founder. We met out at Isaac Moore and More event. It was a phenomenal event. And I said, I've got to talk to my friend. I said, I didn't know you at the time. I said, that's my friend. That's going to be my friend. But in looking at it, you're from Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Yes.
How in the world did you get to Houston?
Just like the moment when I first met you.
Yeah.
You know, days before I was praying to my Lord and Savior to send someone as a messenger across my path to continue to open the door so that I can fulfill my destiny. Mm-hmm. And it was just amazing how I was able to walk in that room and you noticed me. And it was my answer to what I was praying for. And so back in Harrisburg, I was sitting in front of the TV at the foot of the bed of my mom's in bedroom. And Houston came on. It was talking about the economic boom. And it just was a calling on my heart that I told my mom the following day, had a job making $22 an hour. I said, Mom, I'm moving to Houston. She said, son, are you sure? I said, yes. I said, I just think there's my destiny on the other side.
Right.
And I packed my bags and left and came to Houston. And ever since then, I just continue to believe what was meant for me here has materialized in my life even as of today.
I'm glad you said that. So many of us are in fear of leaving. We see opportunities. We see things that are going to happen, but many of us don't jump. We don't leave. You know, when the opportunity we see is right there, and you did it. And going into that, you've been in retail for a long period of time. How did you get started?
Well, I've been a model for Hershey Chocolate Factory back home, and I loved the fashion, was in modeling contests, winning them as a young person. And I always loved fashion, as well as my mother, you know, the white couch with the plastic on it, the green carpet,
Right.
You know, Easter dressing up to the nine. And my mom just made sure that we were just, you know, fashionable all the time. And so I just thought that was my passion. And so when I came here to Houston, I saw an ad in the newspaper, went and applied for the job, all excited, shirt all the way down to my neck. Tie was tied down here. My back pockets were sewn together. I thought I was clean with double-breasted suit on.
Right.
Walked into the establishment.
Right.
But I believed that I was get the job.
Right.
Called me into the office, and seconds later they told me to leave and go find an opportunity somewhere else.
Wow.
And sure enough, I went to another retail establishment, worked there for about 5 years. And then they ran an ad in the newspaper again, this famous clothing store nationwide. And I went back and applied. Same gentleman saw me sitting in the lobby. He says, you came back after I told you to get the hell out of my office. I said, yeah.
5 years later.
5 years later.
He remembered you.
Yep. And he says, why did you come back after that insult? I said, this is my opportunity. This is my passion. And I believe that there's going to be a lot of success on the other side of this rainbow.
Right.
So he told me to get in, go in the other office and fill out the paperwork, and then the story began.
Wow. Never giving up.
Never giving up.
You just kept, you in your mind, you knew, I want to get that one. I want to go to that retail location. I want to work.
That's correct.
Wow. Because you saw the opportunity. You saw what was going on.
That's correct.
Oh, my God.
Faced with a variety of different challenges. I know we don't have enough time to talk about them, but I was faced with some tremendous challenges as a man of color. And I just told myself that I was not going to stop until I achieve my overall passion of being a part of this organization and putting a major footprint in this organization.
And breaking the ceilings on a lot of things.
That's
that,
correct.
that was through that retail, going through your process, right?
Yeah.
30 years now.
33. This August will be 34.
34 years.
Yes. And I met my wife on the way. She got 29.
Wow. Let's talk about that love story.
Oh my God. That's the love of my life, man.
Let's talk about that love story.
Well, as it started at a point where it was at the engagement party. And my wife grabs me by the wrist of my hand and introduced me to all of her family members. But at the end of the day, I was going to speak and give her the accolades for her being an exceptional employee at that time.
Right. And she's this is her engagement party.
This is her engagement party, not our engagement
Not
party.
our engagement party, right?
Yes. And she was about to marry a very successful Chicago Bear football player.
Right.
And, the night ended very well, very positive. I'm
Right.
all on the dance floor, dancing like Michael Jackson, taking the whole party to another level.
Right.
And, 5 months later, I was brought my management team into Baton Rouge to support the store so that he could actually go and get married.
Right.
So that day she walks in, I said, hey, hold on a second. We brought all these people down here to support the store so the store can go to your wedding. And you're not getting married anymore? She says, no, I'm not getting married anymore. I says, oh, y'all get back together. It'll work out.
Absolutely.
Come
Absolutely.
on.
You're her boss at this point. It'll just work out.
Yeah. And she says, no, I'm not. I'm not going to marry that gentleman anymore. I said, okay, well, if you're not going to get married anymore, take the ring off, the 4-carat ring off. And so we left the conversation casually like that. And then, based on bringing all these people in town, we just had to continue to work because it's too costly to withdraw. So the next day she shows up and the ring's not on. And I noticed at the beginning of the day, I'm like, wow, she don't have the ring on. It's a pretty healthy ring. Times
4 carats?
Yeah, you just wait for her to go to the bathroom, take it off, and like, hey, I found it.
Right.
Or at the local pawn shop.
Exactly.
And I left the building and I talked to my associate. I said, business associate, I says, and she said, no. She said, all right, I know what's you're thinking right now. And she said, you're in love with Maddie. And I says, how did you know that? And she says, yeah, when you're all together, y'all just light up.
Right. When you hear her name and all of that,
yeah,
right?
there's energy about you. And, lo and behold, the next day I called her and I said, hey, I have something to tell you. And she says, I have something to tell you. And she said, can you hold it until we meet again? So about a week later, we got together again, and I just told her, I says, I have something to say to you. And she says, I have something to say to you. And she says, on the count of 3, let's tell each other what we have to say. And we say 1, 2, 3. We started kissing. We kissed 24 hours straight. That's no lie. My Lord and Savior know that. We kissed for 24 hours nonstop, falling all over the place. And then, a week later, we got engaged.
Yeah. 3
months later, we got married, and we're embarking on 24 fantastic years in October.
Wow.
And we have 3 beautiful children, and she's the love of my life.
Well, family, I can attest when I saw them and I met them at the Isaac and Moore. Truly, 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 best friends, really family. I mean, just connected in all ways, and I love that. And looking at you're an author. You wrote this book, and this book is Thank You for Calling Me Stupid. How did we get the book and the name?
Well, when I first started the book, I said, I just collaborated a lot of information over years. But what spawned me to complete it was when my 2 business partners ended up dying. And then establishing the charity and allowing that to be a vehicle to help fund the charity.
Right.
And so I looked at the assessment of the marketplace of how people read information or go to books and Barnes & Noble or other different establishments as well as newspapers. And I said, well, most people don't do a lot of reading. They're enriched their soul with knowledge. I said, so if anything, I need to have a cover that's going to be profound. And so I related the cover back to when I was in the 3rd grade. And when I was coming home from school, I was all excited, running home from school. I got my first really report card. Before that was S's or whatever it was.
Right.
And I'm running home, and the school's just right directly across the street is our house. I'm running home. My other brothers get there before me. They're showing the report card, and I'm all excited. Mom, Mom, I got my report card. Calm down, baby, calm down. I'm looking at your brother's report cards at this time. And so they all open them up. They're honorable student, honorable student, honorable student. And say, hey, baby boy, come on, let me see your report card. So I handed a report card to her, and she said, so what did you get, son? I said, Mom, I'm dynamic and fantastic. And so she opens up the report card. She said, no, boy, you stupid. And all I had on my report cards were D's and F's.
Wow.
And so my siblings continue to laugh at me because academically I just struggled. And then my siblings, as well as my family members, they laughed at me because they were academically successful. And, and I just vowed to them, I said, one day I'm going to make more money than all of you put together. And so then that's where the title came from. And I want to thank my siblings because what they done for me is built Teflon on me. They put Teflon. That was the highest level of rejection that I was under for a long period of time. And I can get into a variety of different stories of where they put Teflon on me. So when I got out into this worldly world, and I started meeting adversity, and people were calling me, a nigger, or all these different things that I was subject to unfairness as a man of color, it fueled my motivation to go after it instead of buckling and bowing out. And so many times people get off course when the opportunity's in front of them. And for me, when somebody say anything negative to me, it just fires my engine.
Fuel.
Yeah, fire my engine up.
Me too, just fire.
Yeah.
Just fire. I love that.
So that's where the title called Thank You for Calling Me Stupid. And most people probably end up reading the book, and at the end they say, yeah, he's still stupid.
I love that.
I feel good about the fact that if they do say that, then I will tell them to attempt in writing a book.
Absolutely.
So the Lord put it on my soul, and I just wanted to tell my story because in life there's so many moments that are so valuable to the people that are behind us, coming behind us. And I didn't want to be that person that ended up passing away and not leaving a form of legacy, a time capsule. So a young man or a young woman read the information and allow them to be able to overcome the adversity that they're going to meet in their life.
I want to read something about the book. In this passionate, funny, and candid memoir, the narrative of a young black, lower middle class boy searching for the meaning of life is told in the most compelling and unconventional way. The captivating account of childhood, teen, and young adult recollections will leave you on the edge of your seat, and that's true. Author Chase Ray Harvey shares riveting stories full of high-speed chases, fascinating love stories, and extraordinary success scenarios. Harvey eloquently addresses issues of racism, education, and success in corporate America through the eyes of a black boy raised in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania, going on to achieve monumental success in Houston, Texas. If you enjoy stories full of laughter, love, sex, and success all in one book, Thank You for Calling Me Stupid is your book.
It's on Amazon right now.
It sure is, right?
Doing really well.
Well, we're going to push it some more. And looking at that, you also have a nonprofit. Let's talk about that. People Enhancement Program. You and your wife, Maddie, started together. And why so? Let's talk about
raising 5 boys and a girl, as well as in a marriage to provide for us.
Right.
And that was just kind of I looked at it as a stress that she put herself under, extreme stress put her under, so her physical body had changed. And so that's dear and near to my heart. And I've had other people that have cancer, and they're dear and near to my heart. And my mom, lo and behold, she's 84. And
yes, a
still
survivor.
Survivor, and beautiful, and just an amazing woman still to this day. So she's 84, my dad's 87, and they're both doing well.
Sounds good. We'll take a break, and we'll be right back on the Cam Hill Show.
We'll be right back to the Cam Hill Show after these messages. The Cam Hill Show. If you'd like to advertise your business or become a sponsor, contact the Cam Hill Show at gmail.com.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month. Both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 1.9% APR for 60 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway, just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. RonCarterCadillac.com.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy, because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, family, we're back with Mr. Chase Ray Harvey. We were just talking about Mom and how strong she is, had to be.
Yes.
Because at that time, the 70s or so, when she was, diagnosed and then going through this treatment, also going through surgery, having 5 boys and a daughter, raising children, marriage, and all of this, not having the same medical equipment nor medicine that we have now.
Right. Well, my mom's from Orangeburg, South Carolina, if I have it right. She's, basically this strong woman, straight from the fields, was picking cotton and doing all the physical things that made her mentally tough, as well as my father.
Right.
And when the circumstances hit her, and with prayer, and I always continue, because I found God even more deeply in that moment. She was able to navigate through that and still be a phenomenal mother, and still be here today. And when most cases in the circumstances that she was under in the 70s, it's just profound how she was able to, really kind of do it all on herself.
Right. Right.
So I'm just thankful for the Lord to be able to bless her.
Because realistically, let's put some numbers to that. That's almost 50 years later, as of now, right? In looking at that, Mom has, gone through, removed a breast, having to raise children and everything without having the things, the medicines, the equipment, the time now, just the will to live.
Yes. I think it's always been down to that. Most people think it's technology or all these other things, but it's the will to live and the grace of God. And she believed that, and she believed that she self-healed herself.
Right. Right.
And then also not having a psychiatrist to be able to diagnose the transformation of her body, because having one breast and knowing that you used to have two, at times she would think that she was less of a lady.
Right.
And she was always extraordinary, as well as making herself understand that she was a phenomenal lady, a queen, and dressed to the nines.
Exactly.
You know.
Exactly.
So at 84, she's wearing a hat waiting out here.
But she deserves to. You know what I'm saying?
And still wearing high heel shoes. Mom, you can wear high shoes. I can wear them for 5 minutes.
I love it. I love it. I love it. And looking at it, going back to you and Maddie and your dedication of coming through and doing that for all life-threatening illnesses, cancers and all. You've had a lot of tragedies with business partners, and so let's talk about those.
Well, at first I give honor to my sister-in-law. She passed away. Her husband was subject to domestic violence, and my wife lost her sister. She was an extraordinary mother, cook. Introduced me some of the finest Louisiana food on this planet, and I reference to that. And Criff Clothers, he was an employee diagnosed. Well, he went in for knee surgery, found out he had lung cancer, ended up passing away, and now his daughter has it. 3 years later, after his more or less passing, she's now going through it as a cancer survivor. And then, O'Neill was a heart attack. He was actually mowing the lawn, and his oldest daughter found him out in the backyard, and under record temperatures, he didn't have the proper support around him to survive, to bring to give him the help that he needed. I get a little emotional because he's, they all are really close to me, and so then my wife, best friend, we walked through that process. She had colon cancer, and we watched the whole process from where she was when she first was diagnosed to where she passed, and it just pretty much just ate her up. And so, but we were there. We didn't run from it, and my wife was extraordinary, being there, rubbing on her, and it making her final days just, to the best of our ability that we could provide to allow them to appreciate it. And then one of our other business partners, now she's in the hospital at this point in time. One of the managers that I'm a servant leader to, she is now struggling with a tumor in her front lobe, and she's now recovering and learning how to walk again.
Right.
And I'm sending my prayers out to you, and I want to really say your name out there.
Right.
But her sister went through it 2 years prior and didn't make it. And we were there for her and recognizing her and, helping in any fashion that we could, and making her, celebrating her life to a point. And it's our purpose.
Yeah, it's your assignment.
Before we get off this planet, it's certain things that I know and believe you have to do.
Right.
That it's more than what you think you have to do.
Right.
You want to go to work, that's not what you really have to do. What you want to do is take the opportunity and impact people's life.
Right.
At any moment, any given moment. So people always ask me when you call on the phone and say, Ray, how you doing? Every single time, no matter I'm a bill collector, whatever it might be, whoever it is, I'm always saying fantastic, unbelievable, extraordinary, phenomenal on a whole nother level, because that sunshine that I'm sending and energy that I'm sending through that line or in person is changing the paradigm of the individual day and thoughts.
Right.
And in a couple of weeks from here, I'm gonna be jumping out of a plane and skydiving tandemly with my wife and some friends. They say I'm not going to do it. I'm checking out. I said, no, we're going to jump.
You're going to jump?
They're going to jump. So.
Wow. Why have you decided to jump?
In society, all of us, we've been brainwashed.
Right.
I've been brainwashed. If a person is successful, if he brainwashed me, my chances of being successful is just that great. But in society, there's so many people that brainwash you to not fulfill your potential. Everybody talks about it. Everybody's no. And I always haven't been that person where I take somebody's advice and then I live it out. And I said, man, that's not what I really wanted to do.
Right.
And then when I met my wife just opened up all the boundaries. I was driving a Honda Civic, and then my wife says, you can go buy this car.
Right.
And I said, okay, I'll go buy that car. And then I'll buy her car, and it wasn't the right car. She has the next level. She said, take that car back. I'll go get the car that I want.
Right.
And so I don't want to be programmed by somebody else's thoughts. And my wife has done a great job of, challenging my thoughts and saying, the decision that you made was because of somebody else's thought that was imposed on you. And that's why you established that fear. She has a way of being able to say to me, she says, especially we purchased a
vehicle.
a
foreign car.
A Supreme vehicle.
Right.
And I'm sitting at Stake 48, and I'm looking out the window, I'm seeing all the cars line up, and I'm looking at there, and I'm saying, I'm going to get that car. She said, you've been talking about that car forever.
Right.
And then all of a sudden just came out of her mouth after spending like $300
right.
that night. She said, you're not the man I thought you was. And when she said that to me, I was like, whoa. And then I went and got it. And she's been able to do that to me constantly when she sees that in my eyes there's some sense of fear or some sense of reprogramming that I make my decision off of. She says, you have to real clearly understand that you are a son of God.
Right.
And you have to understand that he's the one that determines your destiny.
Wow.
So don't listen to anybody else.
And you deserve it.
Yeah.
You deserve it. You deserve it. You know what I'm saying? You truly deserve it. I think that's what we have been conditioned, that we don't deserve it.
Right. And a lot of us have been in that paradigm for so long. We just got to abolish it.
We have.
So anybody that knows me, hey, Chetteray, you're 60 years old now. You're running 7 miles a day. You work until 10 o'clock at night, and you do that over and over again. You're working on this, you're working on that, you're working on this. And it says, well, I have made that decision to do that, and my body's equipped to do that. And I'm not going to allow somebody else to program me not to do that.
Right.
And time is so important, and the time that we have to really make our impact is so short. So I'm in my time of being 60 to being 70, I'm going to maximize them 10 years, 30 seconds, wherever it might be, and I'm going to live it to the fullest.
Right. I'm so glad for Maddie. I'm glad Maddie is saying that and I love her thought process. We as African-American men need queens like that. We need that strong woman to say, you deserve it. Go get it. Why not? If nothing else, I believe in you. And when we have that person like that believes in us, it doesn't matter who else. The world doesn't have to do it. We need that one, right?
Yeah, her famous words is treat yourself.
You better treat yourself.
And she treats herself.
She does treat herself.
And she said,
trust me, I saw that day. Yeah. I wanted those shoes you had on.
Whoa, my wife, she said, you better treat yourself. I'm like, well,
but you should.
But when you're a young black man coming up and you now have the challenges of the workforce and being a provider, your father kind of gives the image, as well as your family. Mother gives the image, save for the rainy day. Don't spend on this and don't spend on that. And then when my wife got into my world, I'm in a one efficiency apartment, driving a Honda Civic, and an executive, big time executive in the retail organization.
Because you over here saving.
Yeah, and I'm saving. And she abolished that right away. She abolished that right away. Whatever she sets her sights on, and she says, what she says she's going to do, it just comes to life.
But you're happier.
Yeah.
You're happier.
Yeah. Oh,
you
man.
have more. Yeah. It's strange that you have, while you're there, yes, you're saving, but you're over here, you have more.
Yeah.
It's so crazy.
Yeah, but that part is, me being kind of a Scrooge or a frugal or that kind of guy, it's hard to break that. And shoot, my wife just put me on the table like an egg. cracked me open. And,
Right.
and as I jumped or proceeded, I'm shaking in my boots to believe that if I can get it or not or have it and or drive myself in debt. And she says, if you believe you're going to drive yourself in debt,
You're going to drive yourself in
you're going
debt.
to drive yourself in
Yeah.
debt. And she said, don't believe that. And so
Right.
we're debt free.
Absolutely.
I mean, and other than the necessary things, like
Absolutely.
insurance and all the other
Absolutely,
stuff, you don't have to
right.
pay for
But
the rest of the
still-
taxes and
but
stuff like
still.
that. Yeah,
It's the fear.
yeah. But you know, and
And it's really false evidence appearing real.
yes,
That's all it is. It's false evidence. It appears real. That's what fear is.
But everybody is managed by that. Everybody
Absolutely.
suffer by that.
Absolutely.
But not my wife.
Right.
Not my wife.
But she surrounds herself. I love Maddie. When I met her, I could tell she surrounds herself with like-minded people. You know what I'm saying? Those people that she surrounds herself with, they're like-minded. They think the same way. Not the negative people, naysayers, and all of that. You can tell she gets rid of them real quick, right?
Oh, yeah.
Because she can't have them around her if she's steady going up. Because they're dragging you down.
Yeah, but I got
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, and I got to give props to her mother because when I met Maddie, her mother was an extraordinary coach, and
Yes.
religious person, and she knew what she had in Maddie. She groomed Maddie in every fashion because I was 35, Maddie was 23, and she just had an air about herself that was so mature beyond her age, and then she's dropped dead gorgeous, and then most people would take the perception that she's like stuck up. But she would just, you know, were able to break down any kind of barrier. And back when we were able to hug, hey, baby, come here, baby. You know, she called everybody baby. I'm like, damn,
Right.
my wife in love with a whole lot of people. And she just know how to break down people's barriers and
And many people need the hug.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people, we realize, especially in our community, are not affectionate, don't tell each other I love you, especially men telling other men. There's nothing wrong with that. You know, I'm just saying as far as fathers, a lot of fathers have never told their sons, I love you. I care about you. I want to know, what are you doing? How are you doing? They don't cry, don't touch, don't do this. And that's why many of the men are not just, I mean, they really inside are broken.
Well,
Broken.
you know, my father was always a gentleman, still to this day, real
Yeah.
respectful. He would always tell us, don't worry about what I've done. Just always respect your mother.
Exactly.
And he was a great provider. So for me, when I have my relationship with my children, like my current daughter, Madison, you know, I tell her I love her, and I say I love you, and she'll say I love you more. We just have that kind of
Exactly.
relationship.
Exactly.
And so it's same for my oldest daughter. My first, she's serving in the military. I love her. I just talked to her last night, and I always tell her after the call, I love you.
Exactly.
And it's so important to be
It
able
is
to do
important.
that. And then I would tell you that love is not just to tell them you love them,
Right.
But like if right now, you know, I serve breakfast in bed to my wife every single day. She never has to go get gas. I get all the groceries, whatever's going on within the house. I'm not saying you go do this. We just go and do it before we have to ask. So we compensate. So if something needs to be done, we just get it done.
Absolutely.
And then it's not say your role is this, my role is this. We both in retail, all three of us in retail, including my Madison. She just graduated from high school. So we all just take on the roles and not blame somebody for the role that they should portray.
Absolutely.
And so my wife is a
That's a
goddess,
team.
so I treat her like a goddess.
But that's a team.
Yeah.
That's a team. You all are as a team. You know?
Yeah. I'm telling you, I'm still in love with my wife like day one. People say, my wife had to tell me at night sometimes, "Hey, honey, calm down." I say, "Hey, I'm just happy.
Yeah.
I'm happy.
It's good to be happy.
And we go we were by poolside a couple of days ago, and I was sitting around the pool, and I was saying, you know, it's just so shocking to me. I don't see people in love like us.
Yeah.
I don't see men with their spouse, or or girlfriend or holding hands or opening doors. I don't really see it
Right.
as much as everybody's kind of individual. And then all these, and I feel sad for all the single women. There's so many, and I'm saying, where is the disconnect? Why can't it, work out? Me and my wife are, we don't have like major spats, but every day, it presents a different thing.
It does.
But what you have to do is apply what you want to life.
Right.
And if you put love into the day, there's no room for all the other stuff to come in. And then you got to understand to accept. And my wife got me straight 3 months after we got married. I'm home, right? Now, if you didn't like that animal and the traits of that person, then you need to take it back to the farm and leave it there. But now that I'm here, you have to accept who you have in the building.
Right.
And you got to adapt. And she said that to me. I'm like, okay.
I love it.
And I could talk about her all, man. Shoot, you get me fired up. I'm ready to drive home, kiss her. Hey.
There you go. We'll be right back on the Cam Hill Show.
To the Cam Hill Show after these messages.
Move up at Ron Carter Cadillac. Drive the new 2021 Cadillac XT4 Luxury Collection for only $319 a month. The new 2021 Cadillac XT5 Luxury Collection for only $399 a month. Both for 39 months lease with just $1 down. Or purchase either and enjoy 1.9% APR for 60 months plus bonus cash. Gulf Freeway just 2 minutes south of the Beltway.
Shop smarter when you shop Ron Carter. RonCarterCadillac.com.
My prenatal promise is to make sure my baby is safe and healthy. Because I know it is possible to acquire syphilis, HIV, or other STDs without knowing it. Getting tested is my very first chance to protect my baby. Doctors are required to give expectant mothers 3 separate tests for syphilis. If you're pregnant, ask your doctor if you're being tested properly for syphilis and other STDs. Congenital syphilis can lead to a miscarriage, stillbirth, or an infant death. Don't risk your baby's health. To find out more, visit myprenatalpromise.com.
Have you heard about Hero Go TV offering free TV?
And now back to the Cam Hill Show.
Hey, we are back, family. Mr. Charles, Chase, Ray, Harvey. Let's talk a little bit about just prayer. Just about prayer. We've talked about this before, man.
Yeah, well, it's
the power of prayer. Let's say it like that.
Yeah, the power of prayer. Mm-hmm. I would say it's about the belief, and truly belief, and then understanding it in your soul,
right,
in your mind, every facet of it. Every morning I wake up, God, wealth comes to me in avalanche of abundance. All my needs, desires, and goals are met instantaneously. God, lead me across the path of amazing people. I say that every day, and I say the Lord's Prayer. And when you truly believe without having instant desire of selfishness or wants or needs. As soon as you really believe, then the world, God will start delivering the things that you want in life. And the first thing that I would say that he delivers is health.
Right.
Mind, spirit, things that we don't even really realize. You can get a nice car, big house, and all these wonderful things, but the thing is having the vessel that is fit and capable of enjoying and appreciating and doing what he's asked you to do. And then your mind is in alignment. So when you really believe it, man, there's so many things, even to this day, academically, didn't go to college, blah, 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 barely got out. I graduated. Most schools have about 30 exits. I found the exit.
Right.
Went to summer school, got my diploma. Okay, here we go. And the whole process. But I looked at certain avenues. Go to school, do this, or get a trade, or whatever. But the biggest trade is the power of prayer. The getting in and believing in and getting in alignment with the Lord. And I'm not telling people to go to church every day or whatever, and you see people go to church all the day, and it's not going to happen. It's about praying and being sincere in your heart, and then God knowing that you are sincere, and then all the extraordinary things happen.
Well, the church is inside of us. It's inside you. The Spirit is inside of you, the person, right? You're walking around all day long with that Spirit. And we found that out with COVID, right? COVID shut down the churches and the clubs.
Right.
Both. Shut down the whole entire world.
Right.
And in my mind, it said, can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm.
That's God.
Yeah. Saying,
can you hear me now? You're so busy going everywhere. You're so busy going these other places. You don't have time to pray. You don't have time to talk to me. Can you hear me now?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
And in doing so, now, understanding about life period and how it is, how COVID impact the world.
Mm-hmm.
We had to then come to family. We had to then come home. We had to then stop what we're doing because the world stopped.
Right, but when the world stopped, a lot of people lost it.
Yes.
But when the world stopped for the Harveys of Houston, then the world just opened up even more. My wife is unbelievable chef.
Right.
I didn't even know it for a long time.
Right.
I'm barely making food and feeding the family, and then she got like 67, entrees that she got going on here. I mean, every day she just opened up this skill that I hadn't seen in 23 years.
Mm-hmm.
And we had more fun. We even got to know each other even on another level.
Absolutely.
So and that's the power of prayer and within internally understanding your true purpose.
Right. Absolutely. Absolutely. And looking at your story and what you wanted to convey to people, what did you want to convey from your story?
I want to convey a variety of different angles, just be able to have multiple hooks out there.
Yes.
But I ultimately wanted to convey that anybody can do what I've done.
Mm-hmm.
And I wanted to let people know that academically, if you believe that D's and F's are the thing that identify you, I was an individual that believed that they weren't the things that really identified with me. And I wanted to go forward in doing things that most people have an education were only qualified to do, that if without that education, I could do it, and I could do it through knowing that the Lord would provide it for me and give me vehicles. And then, for instance, even with this book, I just crossed paths. Once I decided to do it, I started crossing paths with people that were able to help me, educate me, tell me exactly what needed to be done. And I didn't need to go into an academic system or go pay somebody to go do something that I needed them to do.
Mm-hmm.
And so with that book, I hope that whatever segment or chapter you read, it'll lead you to your own internal purpose to go do whatever you believe that you want to do. But you got to really believe it. You just got to believe it. And if you I'm gonna believe it for 5 minutes and nothing happens, I'm gonna go back to being me.
Right.
You can't do that. You just gotta believe it And no matter what, even though the day's still the same, the situation is still the same, if you believe it, then guess what? It'll materialize.
It will.
It materialize.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
You know, and so people look at us and they be thinking that, you know, Cesare, you guys are, you know, rich. You got this and got that. Yeah, financially, no, I'm not rich, but filled with the Lord, rich, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And even if I was superiorly financially super
Absolutely.
duper rich,
Absolutely.
I wouldn't worry about that at all. And my wife makes sure of that. Worry about it at all. It's about what you think and how you feel and how you believe, and knowing that the Lord's going to provide.
Absolutely, absolutely. I love that about you. I love what you're saying, because in the world, many times when we fail at something, we stop, right? Starbucks was over 200 times going to, you know, the bank, because they couldn't realize who in the world would sit in line 365 days for coffee, especially in the South. In every Starbucks you see, there are lines, right? Failure. What if he stopped at 195, 197, something like that? It's over 200 times going to the bank, or any of us. Failure. You learn from failure.
My daughter called me last night. She's in the military, been in it for 11 years, Cassandra Harvey, and she was subject to failure. And I told her it's not failure.
No.
It's the universe navigation system to continue to direct you down the path that you should be going. And then when you get these moments where they slap you in the face, you can do one or two things: stay off course and keep going down that path, or understand that now this making you a little bit more wiser, more mature, and now you got to transform and be able to qualify to justify who you really are. And as you've done that, then you'll see what God has for you down the road. It could be a day away. I tell everybody I'm walking around, says, you know what, I got the Mega and the Powerball lottery ticket in my back pocket, even right now. And somebody won 200-something million, and I said, it's in my back pocket right now. I just got to go check the ticket.
Exactly.
And I'm a day away from winning it. And people are like, yo, Cesare, you crazy. All right,
exactly.
Well, I'm just going to believe that. He's going to provide that. And if that never... Well, I ain't even say it's never happened. I'm already there.
Absolutely.
With joy, happiness, and all the other things that kind of come along with it.
It stops us so many times about fear and looking at that. So let's do this. Let's look into the camera, leaving with the words you would like to leave with our viewers. What would you like to say? Last words to the viewers. And how can they purchase your book?
Well, how you can purchase my book is on Amazon, amazon.com. This is Cesare Harvey, the author. Thank you for calling me stupid. What you don't know, God planted a seed in me, and as the days go by, I'll continue to be watered, I'll flourish. As I put into the book, I want to leave everybody with these final words. God will. God will. At anything that you want him to do, you just got to believe God will. And I'll walk by that every second of the day.
Thank you so much, my friend, for all that you've done. Thank you for the book. Thank you for 30 plus years in retail, helping all of us and letting us know it's possible to break the ceiling. Letting us know that someone that looks like us is still at the charge and moving forward and can do it. All the way to the top. I appreciate you so much.
Yeah, and it'll take you to a whole nother level. On the Cam Hill Show.
Sounds good there. 12:30, 1:30 Central Standard Time, the Cam Hill Show. Talk to you then. Bye.